Hey guys, tonight we're diving into the whimsical and perilous world of medieval castles. Those stone giants that seem just as keen on keeping their inhabitants in as they were on keeping enemies out. Imagine a sprawling, cold expanse with staircases spiraling up like the corkscrews in your grandma's wine opener, and you've got a castle. Now, you probably won't survive this. Mostly because staying up all night thinking about how people got by in these places might keep you tossing and turning. Before you get too comfy, feel free to tap, like, or subscribe, but only if you're genuinely enjoying the calm around here. Tell me where you're listening from and what time it is over there. I love seeing how far this sleepy little journey reaches. Now, go ahead and lower the lights. Maybe let a fan hum in the background, and let's drift gently into tonight's story together. So, picture this. You wake up on a chilly morning in a medieval castle, snuggled under layers that are about as thin as excuses for missing your friend's birthday party. The stone walls around you are as comforting as a badly timed dad joke, and the air smells perpetually of damp stone and whatever the kitchen is burning that day. You slip out of a narrow bed that creaks like the floors of an old attic, your toes finding the chill in the flagstones underneath. That's the medieval version of realizing you accidentally kicked off your fuzzy socks in your sleep. This morning, the castle feels alive in that spooky, are the walls breathing kind of way. You tread carefully down the narrow, winding staircase that isn't exactly designed for comfort or safety. Because honestly, who doesn't love starting their morning by maneuvering drop stairs that seem less like a way to get downstairs and more like an elaborate game of don't break your ankle? It's like skipping a healthy breakfast in favor of that extra 10 minutes of scrolling through your phone in bed, leaving you feeling a little off balance for the rest of the day. One legitimate historical fact is that castle staircases were often designed with uneven steps and circular patterns to trip up attackers. Literally. Get it wrong, and you'd be tumbling down like an over-caffeinated goat. Historians still debate whether these architectural quirks were intentionally placed or simply the result of builders playing a medieval version of let's see what happens. As you reach the ground floor, the air is sticky with the scent of mildew and wood smoke. You can hear the echoey clatter of pots and the low murmur of voices gearing up for the hustle of the day. That is, if they haven't already started arguing about whose turn it is to clean up last night's feast mishaps. It's the medieval equivalent of avoiding the group chat because you know there's some chore assignment waiting in there. You wander through the drafty halls, a patchwork of tapestries and old stone reciting stories of battles long since won or lost. Fun fact, tapestries didn't just decorate the walls. They were medieval insulation. Like those drafts blankets you keep forgetting to buy because you'll just get under another layer of duvets. But here's the wild part. Even with all this effort to trap warmth and offer security, castle life was far from idyllic. Sure, the view from the ramparts might be breathtaking on a clear day, but on a cloudy morning, it's just fog and maybe the shapes of the local villagers coming and going, wrapped in enough layers to be mistaken for poorly made snowmen. Eerie, isn't it? Just knowing that below these majestic heights were more secrets and perils than your average B-movie set in a haunted mansion. You imagine taking a step outside to the courtyard to breathe in the crisp, misty air. It almost feels like involuntarily stepping into a bracing autumn morning without your coat, just so you can hurry back inside to the warmth you're inexplicably trying to escape. Except the castle doesn't quite offer that cozy return. It's a place that, just like the world of social media, is both beautiful and full of hidden complications. You can't help but wonder what other secrets the cold stone walls might, metaphorically, if not actually, whisper about. As you mull it over, you take in the cool, damp scent of the courtyard's nearby moat. You laugh gently to yourself at the thought, knowing the moat is as much a trap for the people living inside as the outside attackers. Indeed, historians still argue whether these watery defenses were always effective or mostly just there to look menacing. And thus begins our dreamy navigation through this medieval universe full of quirky architecture and historical anomalies. Strange, isn't it? How each element of a castle seems to carry the odd blend of necessity and danger, perfect for sending a chill down your spine. As we linger through these ancient stories, perhaps you'll start to feel the castle's chill worm its way into the present, much like how the cold night creeps upon us now, embracing us in its soothing, sleep-filled promise. As you wander out from the shadow of the tower, the morning air brushes your face like a wayward lock of hair you can't quite tuck away. The sunlight filters in, scattered and dappled by the clouds above, revealing the sprawling expanse of the moat below. Moats, the medieval equivalent of telling your friends you're taking a break from social media, but constantly checking your notifications anyway. They were grand, intimidating, and not always as impenetrable as they seemed. You imagine standing on the edge, the murky water sloshing lazily, a quiet yet potent reminder that flying high comes with a splash or two. If you think about it, moats were like those energetic, unruly dogs you see in TikToks. Big trouble for intruders, maybe less so for their owners, but unpredictable nonetheless. Historians have long debated the true merit of moats. Were they foolproof barriers against besieging armies, or did they simply drown more friends than foes, pulling unsuspecting wanderers into their soggy embrace? The scholarly debate is as endless as the scrolling through your favorite feed on a Sunday afternoon, both equally unnecessary, but utterly compelling. The reality is, slipping into one would ruin more than just your morning plans for a quick jaunt into the village. Think more like canceling all plans, getting entirely new plans to begin with. Historical records whisper stories of soldiers unexpectedly dipping into the mucky soup, with the comedic effect of someone realizing in too late they sent "I love you" in the wrong chat. And here's a chuckle-worthy tidbit. Some castles even housed mini catapults to hurl rocks at pesky invaders who managed to paddle across. Like seriously, the medieval form of tossing out wordy, aggressive tweets, except with real stones. You turn from the moat and head back towards the portcullis, the great, looming gate that guards the entrance. Imagine this hard-working door, standing sentry, teeth bared like a haphazard row of terracotta pots at your grandma's garden. And get this, these massive gates did more than slam shut. They were designed to crush bad guys under their weight. Think of it as those ominous paywalls, seemingly impossible to breach and ready to ruin your good mood when you least expect it. The grooves in the wooden slats are worn smooth by the touch of countless hands, its surface hosting the wear and tear of a bygone era. Sometimes you wish the walls could talk, sharing stories like an oversized YouTube comment section, just perhaps less snarky. But the gates hold their secrets tight, content to loom in silent vigil. You step through and past them into the open courtyard, half expecting a car alarm to go off. Instead, a couple of pigeons startle into flight, cooing in irate bursts, which is honestly surprising. seeing as indoors is little more than a roofless mess, where things that fly tend to gather. Back inside, the life of the castle hums along. Servants bustle, eschewing the modern convenience of swiping notifications to snooze like it's their business. You observe them like you'd watch a series of particularly catchy cleaning hacks, appreciative, if slightly confused, how it all works out every time. In the corner stands a spiral staircase leading to another turret, beckoning in a way that reminds you of those clickbait ads that persistently tell you one thing and show entirely another once you've committed to the click. Picture climbing the staircase, step by careful step, as the voices below fade into a whisper, replaced only by your breath and the ancient wood creaking beneath you. Honestly, here's the wild part. Castles were never built for the frequent foot traffic of daily life. These staircases, with their precarious turns and steep inclines, were intended more as defensive measures than domestic conveniences. A tactic of knighthood, these steps narrowed the passage, forcing intruders to face the defenders single file. Upstairs, the draft hits you like the first failed sip of an overly ambitious favorite mug of tea. You know the one where your enthusiasm outweighs the temperature. Peeking out a narrow window, you're met by a view that has eked its way into modern tourist brochures without even trying. The horizon stretches wide, a patchwork quilt of green fields and dark, tangled copses of wood, drizzled with mist like somebody went heavy-handed with the Instagram filters. It's breathtaking though, isn't it? Makes you wonder if those living here ever got used to such majesty, or if even in their darkest intercom moments, they stole glances at what might just take their breath away. And right there, right in that quiet moment of history melting into now, you can see why these castles persist. Within the drafty walls, eccentricities, and endless echoes, they hold stories of peril and adventure. Like you, out here, standing before the panoramic sprawl. An ageless keeper of whispers, truth, and legend as the past envelopes the present, you find a quiet peace in the waiting silence. The castle reminds you of the waiting world outside your own cozy retreat, something akin to the soft click of a language held together by unseen memories. The day drifts on, and so do you, weaving through the shadows and sunlight dappling the castle stones. It feels a bit like walking through a scene from a sleepy daydream, where the colors are slightly muted and everything moves in a slow, deliberate kind of way. This is the essence of castle life. Routine laced with unexpected twists, like waking up on a lazy Saturday only to remember you left your laundry soaking overnight. The staircase you follow down leads you into the heart of the castle, where the air smells of smoke and roasting meats, a rustic perfume that clings to your clothes more effectively than any designer scent. You find yourself in the Great Hall, a cavernous room that echoes with the chatter of preparation. It's like the social media of its time, a common space where all kinds of news and gossip circulated with the subtlety of a trending hashtag. Here, the tables are set for a feast, row upon row of benches and trenchers, awaiting the hungry hordes. It's an impressive setup, catered not just for nobility, but also the local lords, ladies, and the roughened knights returned from their patrols. Picture this: an impromptu banquet whipped up like a surprise group project, with everyone hoping they remembered to bring their portion of the meal, or, in modern terms, the equivalent of everyone checking they downloaded the correct file for the presentation. As you watch the bustle, a peculiar thought crosses your mind. You wonder how different, really, is this organized chaos from our modern lives. Much like liking and sharing a meme without laughter, a lot of what you see here is about appearances and hobnobbing. The connection is real, even if sometimes we mask our discomfort behind the polite nod or a strategically placed chuckle. And just like saving a contact number with no intention of ever organizing them, there's a sense of this too is necessary woven through the activities. And here's a historical fact for you. During grand feasts, it wasn't uncommon for food to be sculpted into elaborate forms. Mighty birds and mythical creatures would appear, crafted from pastry or meat with surprising detail. Imagine a turkey, poised like a dragon, as if the pomp and circumstance could further confuse whether you were watching your waistline or mother's culinary prowess. A quirkier tradition involved jesters or minstrel acts performing between courses, delivering drama and humor in turns. Historians still argue about the exact role of these performers, whether they were central entertainers or simply flashy distractions meant to fill the awkward lulls in conversation. It's like following a Twitter debate thread that veers off into unexpected territories. You find yourself drawn to a quieter corner near a hearth, its flames licking softly against the logs, chasing away the creeping chill from your bones. This warmth is welcoming, like hugging a mug of hot cocoa or settling into a freshly dried hoodie. It's a comfort that's timeless, reminding you that beneath the lavish displays and laughter, this place, at its heart, hums with the simple, hard-working essence of life. From your spot by the fire, you watch the gathering unfold, plates filling and refilling, steins hoisting, merriment swelling like an abbey's choir. It's lively, but there's a coziness to the scene too, a collectedness that echoes your little corner of quiet before the laptop fan whirs a lullaby or the hum of your fridge serenades unknown. Maybe it's not so different from our hours spent scrolling late at night, the quiet snatches of performance we encounter when everyone else has gone to bed. This era's majesty feels less daunting the longer you immerse yourself in its soft subtleties and little nuances, a tapestry of life you can't help but mirror, echoing relationships and traditions that still resemble those of your own. And so, in this melting pot of history, mystery, and muddy moats, you find yourself not just as an observer, but as a fellow traveler through time. A quiet understanding passes into your bones, weaving through you like the familiar scent of something sweet baking in the kitchen, or the gentle pats of rain on a roof over your head, nurturing in its promise, cosseting in its finesse. The castle is alive, as are its stories that cling like dew. It draws you into its embrace, the kind of embrace that feels like coming home, no matter where the walls lay. Stepping back into the dwindling light of the day, you pull your robe tight, an inexplicable comfort wrapping around you like a promise in the flicker of the fire. Your journey through the castle continues, each step echoing off the stone walls as if they're applauding your meandering exploration. You tiptoe across flagstones polished worn by centuries of footfalls and wander past heavy wooden doors that creak with the disdain of a sleepy cat being unceremoniously moved from a warm spot. As with every step, you shift between awe and unease, like rereading a spiral-bound childhood diary full of cringe you never really want to toss away. Now, you wander into another marvel of the medieval castle, the kitchens. Just imagine, bustling with clinks and clatters, cooks shuffling past with trays of steaming meats and simmering pots nestled over open flames. It's a sensory overload, comparable to opening an email that's all in caps. Urgent, important, confusing. The kitchen's chaos is deliciously intoxicating. The air thick with the earthy aroma of herbs and the savory warmth of roasting meats. You find yourself half smiling at the sheer absurdity of it all. Because here, using spices is taken as seriously as a modern-day meme lord choosing the exact right gif. Fun fact: during the medieval times, spices were a sign of wealth and power, like wearing the latest tech gadget clipped to your belt. But the kitchens of yore weren't without their hazards. The fire, though cozy, easily turned unruly, with sparks draping over uniforms like poorly trained circus acts. Imagine cooking over an open flame, with ashes bounding about like that pesky friend who never sticks to a plan, and you'll get the idea. Historians still debate whether medieval chefs were truly equipped with the culinary prowess we attribute to them today, or if they simply got imaginative with whatever didn't go up in flames. As you soak in this heady atmosphere, a sudden clatter pulls you back. You spot a drowsy stable boy, rubbing his eyes with enough exhaustion to remind you of your own failed late-night attempts at preemptive sleep. You smile, realizing that life here carried its perpetual grind, much like hitting snooze just to prolong the inevitable dive into work. Your attention strays to a corner where the children of the castle staff play a clumsy game of tag, skirts, and coattails, fluttering like party streamers in a stiff breeze. This reminds you of the myriad of nights spent sending playful emojis and chats, the crinkle of laughter heard despite the silent room, echoing gently through the grape-ripening silence of the day. In the center of it all, an elderly cook tells a story as rich in hyperbole as any epic tale shared over endless video calls. She recounts tales of dishes served and dignitaries pacified, mentioning how a single sumptuous meal could stand between peace and war. Kind of like that time you thought a simple like on someone else's post was enough to preserve a friendship you never quite realized needed watering. Here, amidst the clutter, you begin to see a tapestry of life, both tenuous and tender. A gathering that echoes through the eves of your present day, where everyone's scuttled about like players on the stage. Each seemingly ordinary task reveals a depth, a reason, a justification that's oddly satisfying. With a soft, resigned smile, you take a slow, deliberate breath and imagine the thicker coils of the past weaving uncertainty into comfort. Much like the faint ghost of steam rising off a cup of tea that's cooled to a room temperature murmur, there's something tangible here you can't quite put words to, but it lingers at the edge of your consciousness, contentedly inviting. As you finally step toward the threshold of the kitchen, nearly stumbling over a misplaced pot, as if the spirits here are urging you to try your luck elsewhere. Gentle laughter ripples around you, like the connection of FaceTime calls that never incorporate the obligatory lag-driven giggles. Finding the halls again, you take in the vibrant disruption of everyday life in the castle, because, honestly, who knew history could be so chaotic? And as you saunter soft-footed through the held breath of stone and shadow, you find yourself grateful for the cautious embrace of these medieval moments that live at the cusp of forgetfulness and curiosity, urging you ever onward, ever onward. Your steps carry you into the great hall, a space that feels like both the heart of the castle and the soul of simpler times. Here, the echoes of life rebound off high stone ceilings in an ambient cacophony, clinking chalices, the murmur of voices, soft laughter creating a tapestry of sound. It's as if you've walked right into the middle of a medieval gathering, the equivalent of an impromptu TikTok live where everyone's just vibing. The room is busy with preparations. The long wooden tables set with simple, sturdy platters that seem more at home with the task of bearing the weight of a boisterous feast than delicate culinary presentations. The dishes aren't Instagrammable by today's standards, but there's an art to them, a hearty, rustic aesthetic that translates into something genuinely welcoming, like your favorite comfort food appearing just when you need it most. You try to imagine these feasts, the boisterous banter bouncing off the stone, interspersed with the occasional roar of laughter. Imagine interruptions in the form of bread rolls gone rogue or overly enthusiastic jesters. For those folks, the Great Hall served as the community's social hub, much like the local coffee shop or group chats. That place where everyone gathers, swapping tales and sharing warmth against the chill of their world outside. And here's a neat historical tidbit. Great halls weren't just for feasting, they were multifunctional marvels. Besides eating, people here conducted business meetings, held courts, and even slept under those vast arching ceilings when guest rooms were full. Historians still debate the intricacy of etiquette required during such events. I mean, between dodging projectile poultry and politicking for social rank, it's like participating in an unending office party with an unwritten dress code. You wander towards the far end of the hall, where a grand fireplace dominates the space, the embers glowing in their warm, flickering hearth. Settle yourself nearby as imaginary heat seeps into your core, like an old friend's reassuring embrace after a long day. You can easily see why these enclosing flames were welcoming. Amidst the frosty drafts sneaking in through nooks and crannies, the fireplace is an unspoken invitation to join in the camaraderie that thrived around its glow. Sitting there, close to this heart, you find the urge to imagine what life was like amidst such splendor. Wonderment bound with the kind of hurdles that resemble setting 5 alarms with snooze intervals for a dawn workout session that you inevitably skip. The reality of castle life bubbles to the surface, and you begin to ponder. What were their dreams, their longings, their hopes bound by dark stone walls but reaching toward a horizon spun with ideals of duty and desire? In this introspective pause, time slows the room to a languid pace, much like the long afternoons of a lazy day. A warmth accompanies you, akin to the gentle understanding among those close, the camaraderie that transcends the need for words. Finally, reluctantly leaving the fireplace, you wander over to yet another hall doorway, where beyond you catch the bustling of servants preparing for the imminent evening's festivities. The castle's atmosphere breathes, a creature with its heartbeat, alive in flicker and hushed tones, held in memories safeguarded by the shadows. You sense that hidden within the stone, amid flames bright and warmth elusive, that eternal pull and promise of stories waiting to be shared linger like the glide of a soft breeze through half-open windows. It's in these stretches of imagined light and dark that your path unfolds, drawing you further into time's embrace. The castle continuing to weave its tale around you, the pull of centuries close enough to breathe and beyond enough to chase. And as the great hall dims in the fading light of day, you turn with a certainty of fresh starts and soft closes ahead, stepping away from the lively echo of the great hall. You find yourself wandering down a relatively quieter corridor where the shuffling of feet seems to fade into a softer, hushed drone. It's like moving from the buzzing energy of a crowded virtual meeting to the quiet contemplation of editing a late-night email draft. A pause in your journey, both relieving and reflective. This part of the castle is lined with arched windows, their leaded panes filtering what little sunlight remains into fractured patterns that dance along the cool stone floor. The light is gentle, reminiscent of fairy lights strung delicately along a garden path, beckoning, inviting. Each step makes you aware of the age and history layered beneath your feet. This place has seen storms and sunshine aplenty, and in its silence, it holds stories like whispered secrets passed from one generation to the next. As you stroll, running fingertips absent-mindedly along the smooth, cold walls, you approach another hallmark of medieval ingenuity. Those marvelous turrets that punctuate the skyline, much like enthusiastic points of exclamation in a friend's rapidly typed message. These towers, ever vigilant, serve as lookout posts, keeping a watchful eye on the landscape sprawling beyond. Here's where a bit of irony seeps into history. The sheer height and drafty nature of these wind-battered turrets meant they were absolute magnets for the chill. Inside, the walls seemed to breathe out the cold, like perpetually forgotten ice cream tubs lost to time at the back of your freezer. Really, the only thing harder to avoid than the drafts would have been figuring out if it spelled turret or turret in those candle-lit libraries. Standing atop the tower, the wind has more say than the structure, lifting your hair in gentle pushes or spirited gusts. An open invitation to reconsider your decision not to bring a scarf. But the view? Worth it. Out here, the world unfurls at your feet, a vibrant tapestry woven from rolling hills, scattered with the patchwork of fields, broken by streams like strokes on a painter's canvas. At this vantage point, you find a moment of solace, the kind that settles in the quietest corners of your mind and whispers of gratitude. The sprawling panorama reaching beyond the horizon is, after all, the reason these towers existed. It's hard not to appreciate the medieval insistence on living with a good view, something that translates even to the smallest requests for a window seat on a flight when you need a glimpse of cloud and sky to remind you of the vastness beyond digital screens. From here, it's easy to understand why these drafts and dizzying heights were endured. There's evidently beauty and practicality woven together in these designs, striving to stand guard and inspire, to rest yet reach ever further. Of course, historians still wrestle with the notion of the turret's true function. Was it primarily defensive as legend suggests? Or did it maybe serve as the equivalent of showing off your double-digit followers in medieval terms? Probably a bit of both. Just like balancing the allure of staying home binge-watching your favorite show, yet going out to meet friends enticing enough against the eternal tug of blankets. But now, back within the castle walls, you tread gently down the spiraling staircase, feeling the air grow warmer, softer with each step. In another stretch of hallway, the windows drip golden light as the day unfurls its last moments, netting shadows that play across the ancient stones. In this interplay, you begin to realize that castles, just like the fabric of our own daily lives, are tapestries of routine and unpredictability, warmth and icy drafts, all woven in delicate strands, a balance of the foreboding and fantastic, the harsh and the humble. It's a realization that lingers, draping its understanding like the gentle warm weight of an old favorite sweatshirt, the kind born from fleeting moments but carries an everlasting sense of home within its familiarity. As the sun dips lower, your journey through the castle draws you further into the comfort of the now darkening evening, and with it, the promise of tales to unfurl and dreams to adorn the night awaiting. You find yourself gravitating back to the heart of the castle, to those well-trodden corridors where the murmur of voices echoes like gentle streams. There's something soothing about the familiarity of this place, much like returning to your favorite playlist when the day's tempos feel offbeat. The walls seem to lean in ever so slightly, as if whispering their solidarity with each step you take. Outside, the sky deepens with twilight hues, casting a quiet spell over the castle grounds. The transition from day to night here feels seamless, an ancient rhythm humming you into repose. As you wander through the fading light, you pause to observe the craftsmanship that has endured through centuries, like a song whose melody transforms yet always returns to its core refrain. You wander into the chapel, its door slightly ajar, as if inviting introspection. Inside, the light is low but serene, filtered through intricate stained glass that gifts the space with a kaleidoscope of colors. It's akin to the comforting glow of fairy lights on a stormy evening, transforming the space into a cocoon of quiet reverence. The air is cool, the scent of old wood and candle wax, reminiscent of late-night libraries, keeping vigil over their secrets. The pews creak as they welcome you, your presence marking time among those who have come before, seeking solace or guidance. The whispers of forgotten prayers and dreams brush gently against the shadows, leaving behind echoes like the crinkle of autumn leaves underfoot. Here, within these walls, amidst the holy stillness, your thoughts can wander freely without fear of trespassing. Reflecting upon this sacred space, a historical fact emerges. Chapels were central to medieval castle life, serving both spiritual needs and as community gathering places for important ceremonies. Historians still argue whether these religious spaces significantly affected the secular daily affairs, or if they simply provided an emotional reprieve from the world outside. In any case, it's clear they held a deep significance, like turning to nostalgic comforts when modern chaos encroaches. But here's a quirky tidbit that might prompt a chuckle. At times, services within these chapels were conducted in Latin, a language only the clergy fully understood, leaving the majority of attendees a bit befuddled. Imagine sitting through a long lecture in a language you don't speak, nodding along in the hope no one realizes how utterly lost you are. It's like being on mute during a Zoom meeting while your cat distracts you with antics. You let your gaze drift upwards, tracing the delicate contours of the vaulted ceiling that curves high above. The solemnity here is tempered by a sort of warmth, much like how the buzz of a refrigerator in the depths of night wraps you in familiarity. It's this balance of grandeur and simplicity that brings comfort, much like how socks keep reassuring your toes that all is well in the quiet moments. Once you've caught your fill of the chapel's tranquility, your path winds through more shaded halls, your footsteps light amidst the growing, deepening shadows. You wonder about the lives etched across these stones, tales finished and undone, promises whispered and carved into the flowing time stream. It's a beautiful contemplation, embraced in the gentle hum of history and grounding certainty. Instinctively, you seek out the warmth of your favorite alcove, not far from the Great Hall, a spot where you often pause to reflect on the day. It's cozily nestled, a soft passageway that envelops you like the tender quiet of whispered secrets long past, an invitation to pause, breathe, and simply be. The pattern of light and shadow here uncurl like the leaves of a well-read book, drawing you gently into the embrace of the coming nighttime. In this fleeting moment, as darkness folds gently over the castle, you realize how the everyday longings and profound questions of centuries ago echo within the chambers of each heart even now. Each of us crafting stories, finding our paths amidst the grand tapestry that is life. With each breath, you soak in the evening's calm, the lullaby of the castle harmonizing with the beat of your own heart. Tomorrow waits patiently along with its countless possibilities, but for now, there is only the now. The depth of the night, the promise of dreams, and the sense of castle and soul twining together to keep watch over the hush of the journey yet unfolding. With night descending like a gentle wave, you let the castle's quiet envelop you, a tender embrace of old stone and storied past. A soft hush settles over everything, weaving through the corridors, holding the promise of rest and secrets whispered between fading lights. As you wander away from the chapel towards the heart of the castle, the walls seem to melt into shadows, their once sharp outlines blurring like watercolors left out in the rain. The night shift stretches on, casting an intimate glow over the tapestry of castle life. Back in the great hall, subdued laughter and soft whispers signal the end of the evening's gathering. A sleepy village clock, living on borrowed time. The embers in the fireplace settle amidst the warm murmur, like a sleepy cat kneading its blanket. You find your way through the flickering candlelit corridors, guided by the century-old handrails worn smooth by those who've navigated before you. There's something about the stillness here, comforting in its constancy despite the passage of time. It's like texting "on my way" to a friend who intuitively already knows you'll be at least 15 minutes late, yet still saves you a seat. The castle has a rhythm of its own, each stone and shadow bookmarking snippets of history the way unread notifications linger on a phone screen. Here, in this drifting night, you find yourself immersed in the quiet wonder of a world where everything seems perfectly poised between knowing and mystery. Evening breezes seep through the masonry with a sound reminiscent of a lullaby, a soft reminder of the history trailing through these halls. You meander past the kitchens, where upon occasion the scent of bread's mid-rise dances like whispers through the grates. Historians argue about the intricacy of medieval cuisine and whether it truly held the promise of delight that we imagine today, or was instead a series of practical solutions to sustaining life's necessity with little resource. A bit like finding the cheapest ramen to pair with last-minute inspiration for experimentation. Onward, through an archway adorned with the fleur-de-lis, you enter the next chapter of this evening, an exploration that feels like the soft, trailing remnants of a breath drawn deep. The wooden beams overhead creak in response to the evening's cool embrace, an old house settling into itself, much like you sliding your headphones on at the end of a day for a moment of sonic solitude. You pause before another heavy wooden door, its knobs polished by hands unknown, a gateway to chambers that have witnessed dreams and discord alike, bedchambers as varied in design as they were perilous in reputation. Inside, rooms glow softly, bathed in the golden light of candles, as warm blankets wait upon a retiree's return. There's an unhurried tenderness here, reminiscent of rain tapping on windows while you cocoon in a blanket. And yet, beneath the fabric of these canopies, the tales of yore spin tales of intrigue and treachery. the eavesdropper hidden behind arrases, the schemes shared in hurried whispers. Historians muse that these chambers saw more than their fair share of political dramas and long-pondered conspiracies. Fun fact: many bedchambers were multifunctional, not merely restricted to sleeping as parlors and even birthing rooms at times. You wrap this thought around yourself like a cozy shawl, imagining those who might have found solace or utter desperation within these walls. Laying claim to moments caught in the intersection of history as much as a nighttime scroll through tabs inadvertently left open, flickering in the early hours. For now, the world is content to sleep, wrapping dreams like cherished melodies left untold under a sky draped in trailing stars. This mysterious world cradles you, of castle and life, as the shadows melt into the midnight hour, holding tight the promise of tomorrow's revelations. The night wears on, and you let your thoughts dissolve gently into the dark, like a candle's flicker against the night, ever present, ever husking. The night stretches on, its cloak of silence hugging the castle snugly as you meander through shadows, letting the weight of daily rhythms slip away like loose sand through fingers. There's a stillness here now, a deep, resounding peace that hums through the ancient stones, a lullaby for both dreamers and the sleepless souls that have walked these halls. As you gravitate towards the turret staircases, you feel the cool air brush softly against your cheeks. The ascent is measured, each step a careful consideration, as if the stairs themselves are the gentle custodians of secrets. The stone feels solid beneath you, a reassuring contrast to the ethereal dance of your thoughts as they drift and wander in tandem with your steps. Atop the turret, you pause, finding yourself wrapped in the inky indigo of the night sky. Stars are strewn across the heavens like forgotten crystals left behind by some careless fairy, little points of light that twinkle as if sharing their own silent secrets with the world below. You lean into the cool breeze, watching the horizon blur softly into the night's embrace, a borderless sea of possibilities. From this vantage point, the world seems to quiet completely, holding a collective breath, as if waiting for the echoes of history to ripple through time and reach us here, now. The expanse below is shrouded in hushed shadows. Every curve of the land is softened, every edge smoothed away. It's a sight that speaks directly to the soul, like scrolling through quiet landscapes while resting in a dimly lit room, your phone casting an almost magical warmth. You reflect on the lives that moved through this space, lovers and warriors, dreamers and schemers, all under this very same sky. With a touch of wonder, you consider the stories held within these stones, tales of grandeur and folly alike. Historians still puzzle over many of these narratives, debating the finer points of alliances, betrayals, and the ever-turning wheels of fortune that define the lives caught within them. Standing here, the quirks of medieval life seem almost cozy, like intricate webs worn familiar through the passage of time. Even those historical oddities, the horned helmets that may or may not have been ceremoniously worn, the rivalries fought over shards of captured land, have a certain endearing quality when viewed from the softness of night's gentle veil. Historically speaking, castles were fortresses as much as they were homes, a balance between the foreboding and familial, much like navigating through curated social feeds, entangled with spontaneous real-life interactions. Just as we find ourselves balancing the public and private spheres, so too did these ancient inhabitants, threading the fine line between duty and desire, hearth and honor. In this seamless blend of old and new, the castle stands as a reminder, a testament to endurance and adaptability. It holds fast to its secrets, even as it welcomes the reverent footfalls of those like you, modern travelers who carry their own whispers of the everyday into this sprawling stone testament of time. Eventually, as the chill settles around your shoulders, you step back from the parapet, retreating down the winding steps to warmth and comfort below. The echoes of your movement seem to rap softly, like those of a wanderer returning to the familiarity of beloved, if worn-in places. Descending into the heart of the castle, where fireplaces crackle gently and the shadows grow long and languid, you carry with you that intangible connection, a gentle fusion of then and now. The air is sweetened with nostalgia, and you find yourself smiling at those comforting silhouettes as the castle slips back into its quiet vigil. Because after all, these timeless whispers echo beyond ancient stone and present breath, entwining what was and what will be, nudging the edges of dreams on the cusp of dawn. Curling gently into sleep's embrace, you carry the castle's song in your heart, a melody of time, soft and unyielding, echoing softly into the silence beyond. As your journey winds down for the evening, you drift through the final corridors of the castle, letting the tapestry of the night wrap you gently. The air is filled with a tapestry of timeless sounds. The muted crackle of fireplaces, the distant hoots of owls calling to each other across the expanse of night, and the soft whisper of the wind brushing against weathered stone. It's akin to the symphonic hum of a city settling into slumber, every note perfectly placed within the grand orchestra of the evening. Your thoughts linger on the stories that have woven themselves into these walls, each stone a chapter in the living book of the past. Sagas of glory and shadows of uncertainty trail like the intricate patterns of the tiles beneath your feet. Each step a gentle invitation to remember and reflect. And in the quiet, you ponder the lives not so different from your own, with dreams and desires colored by their time. Before returning to your own world beyond these ancient walls, you pause to take in the deep tranquility that seems to emanate from every stone, an unspoken promise that the wisdom of the ages and the hopes of the future coexist here, entwined. It's that cozy realization that the journey through time and history is like flipping through the countless tabs left open on a browser, a collection of thoughts, each part of a greater whole. There's something inherently comforting in this connection, knowing that despite the centuries separating us, the human experience remains intricately the same, a shared understanding that echoes through the tapestry of time. It's the reminder that, much like setting 5 alarms and ignoring them all, history persists in its attempts to remind us of the lessons we're still learning. As your footsteps carry you to an alcove softly lit by the fickle glow of candlelight, you find a sense of peace that envelopes you. There's a warmth here, as if the castle itself has welcomed you into its embrace, offering its solidarity as you prepare to slip back into the rhythms of your own world. In those last moments, as the castle fades gently into the delicate hush of sleep's promise, you breathe deep, letting the lingering scent of ancient stories bask in the ephemeral glow of the now. The air is wrapped in night, full of anticipation for the dreams gently poised on the horizon of the evening. With a heart anchored to this cherished journey and spirit tugged toward tomorrow's dawn, you prepare to depart from this place, where the whispers of history meld seamlessly with the gentle caress of the night. It's in this soft melding that you find familiarity, the quiet cadence of timelessness resonating in your own tale. Just as the castle draws the day to a close, so too do you cradle the promise of another adventure amidst the constant rhythm of life, enduring, ever evolving, and beautifully connected across dimensions of time. So, as the night deepens and your journey through the winding paths of centuries finally finds its rest, let the castle's timeless song echo within your dreams, softly guiding the way into the welcoming arms of slumber. Here, dreams flourish, uninhibited, sewn gently into the vast tapestry of life, brimming with possibilities yet to come. As the gentle rhythms of the castle slowly fade into the backdrop of your mind, you find yourself cocooned in the serenity of night. The embrace of the past lingers like a comforting echo, a gentle reminder that history is as much a tapestry of shared stories as it is a mosaic of personal journeys. Each stone and shadow in the castle has whispered its tale, soothing like a lullaby that cradles you softly towards sleep. The pathway back through time and memory feels as tender as a favorite book returning to its place on a shelf, still holding the stories vibrant between its covers. It's the feeling you get when old music plays. You know the beats and lyrics so well, they're woven into your very being. And just like that, your adventure among the timeless corridors of the castle wraps around you like a favorite childhood blanket, worn but infinitely cherished. In these closing moments, as you prepare to drift into restful dreams, the relics of the castle's world remain a part of you. They nestle within, silent companions ready to sway with you through the moments when modernity feels as sharp and cold as those ancient stones. It's the unexpected comfort of knowing that even in the modern chaos, where headlines shift as swiftly as flickering matches, the past holds steady, a stalwart reminder of continuity. Take a moment now, as you lie still, to let the quietude envelop you, a gentle caress akin to a summer's breeze in twilight. Feel the steady beat of your heart syncing with the eternal rhythm of the universe, a timeless, boundless hymn that transcends both eras and epochs. You close your eyes, allowing the castle's comforting echoes to accompany you into the realm of dreams. Here, the scents and sounds of that ancient world blend with the familiarity of your own. Crackling fires and distant murmurings, the soft crinkle of leaves underfoot, and threads of stories intertwining. There's a certain peace in this, a gentle unraveling of time that feels almost sacred. It's as if the past gently exhales its mysteries into the hushed embrace of the present, quietly entwining with the essence of who we are and who we hope to be. This is where history lays its head down beside you, resting, as assured of its place in the world as you are of your own. And so you slip deeper, letting the lull of the castle drift you into slumber, where dreams will dance lightly on the fringes of your mind, illuminating whispers of the past and beckoning future probabilities, each a tiny star in the vast sky of your imagination. With heart full and spirit light, you surrender to sleep's gentle pull, nestled within the comforting folds of this timeless journey. Allow yourself to rest, wrapped in the echoes of the stories shared and the dreams that are yet to unfurl under the watchful eye of the night's peaceful vigil. And as you drift away, you carry with you that rare and precious gift, the myriad of tales whispered through the corridors of time. The castle rests now, bathed in moonlight, as the night tenderly cradles your dreams, promising new adventures when the morning comes again. The stillness of the night envelops you completely now, a soft cocoon of peace and promise. The castle and its ancient stories slip away gently behind the closing curtain of your heavy eyelids as you lie nestled in your sanctuary of slumber. The swirling images of turrets, gentle drafts, bustling kitchens, and echoing halls blend together in a soothing tapestry that lulls you deeper still, where dreams awaken and dance along the horizon of the mind. It's a place where time bends and blends, where the past and present intertwine like tendrils of smoke rising from a warm hearth. The tales you explored follow you here, each winding narrative a delicate thread woven into the richer fabric of dreams. With every breath, they drift farther into the recess of sleep, collecting into the night's gentle hum, a melody both calming and familiar, like the soft rustle of leaves in a gentle breeze. Imagine the castle silhouetted against the night sky, its stone bones resting, slumbering under a shimmering blanket of stars. Somewhere within those walls, the whispers of history continue, like gentle waves washing across silent shores. And here you are, spirits entwined, part of the quiet legacy carried forward through the ages, a connection that transcends the boundaries of time and space. The hum of history and the pulse of the present merge into one languid rhythm, a lullaby articulated in the language of dreams. The fires of the castle, long since banked, glow softly in the recesses of your mind, their warmth a lingering comfort that drifts with you into the depths of sleep. In this gentle space, you are free to explore the expanses of your imagination, unbound by the constraints of the waking world. Each breath deepens your descent into this serene realm, where echoes of past sojourns drift on the perfumed air like whispered secrets shared between slumbering giants. Here, beneath the watchful gaze of the moon's silvery light, the world slows. The night's embrace is full and inviting, cradling you in a timeless, nurturing presence that soothes the soul and replenishes the spirit. Rest now, in this haven of tranquility, where all the stories of the world converge in hopeful harmony. As sleep's depths unfurl before you, carry with you the essence of the castle's wonders, tucked gently into the corners of your dreams. Let them rise and fall like gentle waves upon the shore of your subconscious, a comforting rhythm that promises peace, renewal, and whispers of all that is and all that might be. In the deep quiet, allow the soft currents of sleep to cradle you. Let the night shield you in its gentle embrace, and permit yourself to drift effortlessly along the river of dreams. You are safe within this cocoon of calm, connected to the continuum of the past, the present, and the future. A tranquil voyage until the heralding light of dawn gently returns you to waking life once more. And with that, I wish you the sweetest of dreams, dear friend. A dance with the past's enduring echoes under the silken canopy of the night's endless sky. As the night deepens further, the world outside begins to melt away, leaving only the soft, eternal whisper of dreams to guide you. Every thought, every memory from your journey through the castle lingers like warm embers in the hearth of your mind. The flickering moments alight with a glow that is both gentle and reassuring, wrapping around you like the embrace of an old friend whose presence alone is enough to bring comfort. The castle's stories settle into a gentle rhythm, each tale a note in the grand symphony of history, harmonizing with the pulse of your own experiences. Dreams, those ethereal bridges between the realms of reality and imagination, begin to weave their intricate tapestries. They draw on the lush colors of past adventures, mingling them effortlessly with the hopes and whispers of what is yet to come. You find yourself drifting through these dreamscapes, a serene traveler between the worlds. The echoes of medieval halls, bustling great rooms, and the tranquil hush of moonlit corridors all become threads in the gentle fabric of this night's dreaming. Here, in this ethereal place, the line between history and fantasy blurs, inviting you to explore freely, without the bounds of time or place. The journey through your dreams is a peaceful one. Perhaps you find yourself wandering down those familiar stone corridors once more, the light of flickering torches casting playful shadows along the walls. Or maybe you're exploring new, uncharted lands, soaring above landscapes painted in hues only a dream could conjure. The possibilities are as boundless as your imagination, each scene unfurling at the gentle pace of a lullaby. Every soft rustle of dream winds through your hair, and every whispered promise of starlight above is an invitation to let go of the day even more. The presence of the castle is a comforting shadow, always nearby, anchoring you to the stories and secrets that have now become a part of your own narrative. It's that same grounding sensation you find in the quiet moments of life, when the world feels perfectly okay, no matter how chaotic the backdrop might be. In the distance, the chorus of nature's own nocturne plays on, a serenade of crickets, the murmur of a night breeze through trees, and the gentle call of an owl, weaving together the perfect soundtrack for such an introspective journey. The music of this night invites you to journey deeper, a carpet of serenity rolling out before you, leading you into the deepest, most restorative corners of sleep. Allow yourself to linger here. Let each breath guide you into the dark folds of slumber's blanket, where you are swathed in warmth and the gentle hum of tranquility. There's a beauty in this rest, as dreams unfurl their wings to cradle you in a most timeless embrace. You are safe, ensconced in a cocoon of calm, where each second stretches into an eternity of peace and whispers of history sing you to rest. The night holds you close now, its promise unwavering, filling your sleep with endless possibilities and the quiet assurance that tomorrow holds new adventures, fresh beginnings built upon the stories and legacies that dance through the corridors of the mind. As you gently drift into the next phase of your dreaming, may it be filled with wonder, where the echoes of the past and the whispers of the future converge in the dance of dreams. As the embrace of night cradles you deeper, there's a subtle shift in the dreamscape, a gentle unfolding as the stories tucked away in the corners of your mind unfurl their delicate petals. You find yourself wandering through a realm where time feels fluid and boundless, like a stream of water that reflects the constellations above. The beauty of these dreams is in their seamless blend of the known and the mysterious. They paint a canvas where you're both the artist and the observer. The world around you shimmers softly, aglow with the gentle luminosity of moonlight filtered through mist. In this ethereal realm, the air is laden with the scent of night-blooming flowers and the faint, spectral melodies of a distant lute, as if played by a hidden minstrel, leave a trail that guides you along. Perhaps you find yourself alongside the castle's moat once more, its water shimmering like liquid silver under the star-filled sky. But now, instead of cold, foreboding depths, it is a mirror reflecting not only your image, but the possibilities held within you. It gently reminds you of the moat's dual purpose, a protector and a barrier, much like your own thoughts at the edge of sleep, guarding the entrance to your innermost dreams. This dreamscape is vast and uncharted, inviting your footsteps to wander wherever curiosity may lead you. You explore with the freedom of a child discovering a new world, the excitement and comfort that's carried over from those timeless corridors. Each new path you take down these dream-laden trails is an adventure not yet written in the annals of time. Occasionally, familiar faces from both past and present glide into your consciousness, companions invited into the quiet sanctuary of your dreams. The echoes of their laughter and gentle conversations wrap around you like a favorite sweater on a cool day. Each moment vivid and full of substance, yet the logic of time and reality left behind in the waking world. Around you, the dream landscape flows seamlessly, shifting like a kaleidoscope to reveal new wonders at every glance. From on high, the castle's turrets stretch upwards into infinity, dipping in and out of the clouds, drawing with them the dreams of the countless souls who have called these walls home. Here, history becomes a living narrative, a dream journal of shared stories entrusted to the tapestry of time itself. Perhaps you glide along the shores of memory, gentle waves kissing the sand with whispered secrets, each ripple a page turned in the book of your personal history. You may even pass through gardens of nonsense and wonder, where flowers burst in jubilant colors, dancing under the silver moon, as though sharing a joyous inside secret with the stars. And as you travel deeper still, buoyed by the gentle, rhythmic ebb and flow of the night's narrative, you reach the heart of dreams, where the quiet convergence of all things awaits. Here, with the castle now a shadow-embroidered memory, the beauty of what was and what is yet to come feels woven together like pages and bindings of an old storybook. In this quiet space, where the infinite canvas of dreams meets the unyielding brief of dawn, you gather fragments of coherence and calm, ready to carry forward into tomorrow's light. The chill of ancient stones, the warmth of flickering fires, and the whispers of medieval lives are interwoven into the quilt of your dreams, stitched together with the golden threads of infinite possibilities. And so, nestled within the gentle crescendo of night and dreams, you rest in quiet assurance. Your body relaxes into the rhythm of the familiar, hands unclenching and curling softly. Your thoughts meander to a slow, comforting rhythm, like a brook trailing softly over worn stones. In the tender embrace of this dreamscape, you are cradled between the soft echoes of the past and the warm breath of potential futures. As sleep sways on, may the night's gentle lull continue to guide you into deeper realms of peace, gently immersing every thought and worry in the balm of time's tender embrace. Slipping further into the velvety darkness of sleep, you find yourself adrift on the serene sea of your dreams. Each deep breath feels like a wave gently lapping against the shores of consciousness, inviting you to rest even more deeply. The world around you, softened by the passage of night, wraps you in a cocoon of tranquility, a perfect sanctuary for exploring the realms where imagination and memory intertwine. As you surrender to this peaceful drift, your mind wanders through landscapes drenched in moonlit hues. The boundaries between reality and dreams blur, allowing you to traverse freely across the bridge of memories and fantasies. It's a delicate dance, like watching fireflies flit across a summer meadow, their light weaving a path in the darkness. Within this dream realm, The whispers of the castle still linger softly, like echoes reverberating through the corridors of your mind. The stories of old companions, brave knights, and wise storytellers weave into a rich tapestry that unfurls endlessly before you. These tales, familiar yet new, unfold with the grace of an old film projected in a theater, each frame casting its own shadow and light. You find yourself walking along a riverbank, the water reflecting a tapestry of starlight that seems to guide your steps. The air carries the faint scent of night jasmine, a fragrant reminder of quiet evenings spent in introspection. There's a sense of timelessness here, where each moment stretches infinitely, offering you a glimpse of eternity in the span of a breath. Perhaps, as you wander, you find yourself in a sun-dappled glen, the warmth reaching through the canopy above to warm your skin like an embrace from a dear friend. The trees stand as sentinel watchers, their leaves whispering sweet symphonies orchestrated by the gentle breeze. It's a place of renewal, where dreams and hopes blossom like wildflowers, resilient in their vibrant persistence. In these meandering paths of dreams, you may encounter figures from your past, those who've walked beside you in times of joy and sorrow. Their presence brings comfort, a gentle reminder of the bonds that span time and space, woven with the strength of shared laughter and tears. Together, you reminisce about adventures once embarked upon, stories of castles explored, and paths yet uncertain, melding together in a heartfelt tapestry. As you journey within the soothing landscape of your dream, you notice elements of your daily life, those quiet comforts and soft routines we often take for granted, merging seamlessly with the fantastical. The line between the mundane and the magical blurs, and you revel in the simplicity of being and belonging, the gentle pulse of the universe intertwined with your own. And as the reach of this dreamscape extends towards the horizon of morning, the edges begin to soften, guiding you back towards the waking world. The whispers of the night carry with them the gentle murmur of dawn, the promise of new beginnings rising softly over the edge of dreams like the first blush of light heralding the return of day. Your journey through the night reassures you that the stories held within the compass of time and imagination are endless, an unbroken narrative that you are both a part of and a witness to. As dawn begins to paint the world with hues of gentle awakening, you carry with you the sense of connection and continuity, enfolded within the whispering embrace of the night's passage. And so, as you slowly rouse from the depths of sleep, may you wake with a heart full of comfort and dreams unfurled, ready to meet the day with the knowledge that in the soft folds of night you have found a place of peace, a timeless bridge over which the past and future gently clasp hands in the serene light of the present.